Hello, hello. Hey boys, I'm a bit late because my PC didn't want to connect the webcam. So there was a problem with the webcam, I don't know why, but only a restart actually did it, as sometimes it happens. Sometimes only a restart fixes stuff. Yep. But I'm here. I've been a bit busy these days because I had a few things to do. I mean, apart from going to the mountains and stuff, but also I had to meet some friends for Christmas and some dinners. Yeah, so I had a few things to do, but kind of here now, kind of. No, I'm here. Yeah, that's fixed. Yes. I don't remember how I fixed it, but I fixed it. Okay, so let me see if we can do the usual posting. Okay. Kind of ghosting me. X is kind of ghosting me because I'm posting always the same message, just changing a number maybe, and they don't like it. But anyway, when I'm posting the news about the stream. Okay. Okay. I'm ready. Am I? Yeah, I think I am. Hello, everyone. Oh wow, it's so black. I know. It came now. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good afternoon. Welcome. So, what I want to do is it lagging? I don't know. My face seems to stop a bit. Maybe because I'm just starting JetBrains Rider. So I did few more fixes. A bit long to explain, but just small things here and there. I mean, nothing really incredible. And I also did a relight of every level, right? As usual we do before release. So we are kind of ready if we want to release. But what I was thinking, can I still put something in the client before packaging so that I break it? No, hopefully not. Can I put something in the client so that we have it and then I can leverage that just with server-side data after the release, right? Which is basically the way I should always do it. But not always I reach that point. Maybe I have stuff that I really want to put in, and so I work on that, right? But the idea would be, and we can get back to our I don't know if I have it in Paint, but I think it was inside this one. Yes. Yes. The only problem I think we have is to know which modifiers belong to... but I think it's not that hard because we said that all these ones are probability 0, right? Yeah, the only problem is, do I know? Let me think about it 1 second, huh? Let me think about it. So if I check weapon enchant, weapon enchant. Okay, let me check this. Weapon enchant. Maybe I will put it on the other screen so we can reason on it. Ruby gem, emerald gem, sapphire gem, diamond gem. And then I need also the modifiers. The modifiers. The modifiers. I think is here. No. Absolutely not. The modifiers. Hello, dotted fish. Hey. How are you today? The modifiers. Ah, yes, are here. Lesser, major, greater. Lesser, major, greater. Enchanted items. Did we improve the description of this thing or no? No. No. Right. Yeah, we described it here a bit better, right? But I guess what I wanted to know, which is the thing that we discovered together the other time, was how we were getting Diablo 4, I guess. Not Diaboli. Diablo 4, yeah. Exactly, Diablo 4. So... enchant... armor... Ah, yes, I found it. Okay. Yeah, so basically there is a script, right, that based on the glyph that you are using is giving you different different capability. Now, the problem is that how do we know? So basically there is a formula, right, that goes glyph. I didn't write it here, but basically there is a script that for every glyph, right, for every glyph gives you a different result, and you can set the adjective or the prefix or the suffix, you know, based on the glyph that you use. Now the only thing that I don't know is unfortunately it's not written anywhere. This thing is not written anywhere. Glyph way, dark blue, azure. It's not really telling us though. It's not telling us the glyph, it's just telling us the glyph way. Is this thing actually correct? I don't know. For example, let's take one, right? Let's take 503. 503. Okay, here it is. 503 is using maybe it's too complex to do now. I don't know. I wanted to do it, but maybe it's too complex now that I see it. What? No, I mean, okay, 503, no, I wanted to say 39. The glyph, not the effect. Okay, so like this one is the illness glyph, right? Is the illness glyph and is giving you the 503 modifier. Now the question is this unique? Or do you get this effect Yes, you do. You get this effect also with other gems. So for example, I was looking at the diamond, right? But you get it also with the emerald. And I don't know if we have a table that is describing. Sorry. I don't know if we have a table that is describing all of them. In theory, I have a simplified table that is showing me this, but it's not showing me the wall mapping. And I don't even know how I can then represent it. Well, I could load it somehow in a data table, but that will become completely static, right? Which I don't know if it's a great idea. And yeah, so basically, yeah, when you use it with a Ruby, yeah, it is a bit of a mess though. How can I? The thing is more complex than I was thinking. So basically, it's not that every glyph is unique or can be used only in one combination. It can also be used with different gems, right? So and I don't even know if all the gems or just a few. For example, with the ruby, you can only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? You can only have 7 glyphs with ruby. But what happens if you try to enchant it with the one that is not that one, right? Yeah, it's basically doing nothing. So if you try to enchant it with the wrong one, right, it will not work, basically. It will do nothing. It will do no changes to the item. Hello, Hula. So I'm trying to understand. What could be a good way to reverse this? But it's because it's a very big table, right? It's a very big table. I mean, I can put this table in a database, right? But it's a bit of a repetition, actually. It's a bit of a repetition, which is kind of annoying. Because basically at the moment I have a script that is saying if the gem is a ruby and the glyph is blah 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 is 39, then apply these two modifiers, right? And I think it was kind of cool to see that visually, right? I wanted to see that visually. The problem is that I don't have an easy way to do the reverse, right? So from the resulting effect, right? From the resulting effect, which is actually the modifier. So the modifier 500, what is it? is lesser or greater or major. Yeah, I think it's one of those. Huh? Yeah, 500 is lesser. Lesser, major, greater. But do I have a way to reverse this? Do I have a way to reverse this? $502. 502 is greater. 502. It's a bit of a mess. The way it has been done, I mean, obviously it has been done this way because it was the only way we could do it. I mean, the easiest way probably, whatever, but the only way we could do it with scripting. Yeah, let me correct that. The only way we could do it with scripting. And so basically at the moment you have the 3 gems, right? So you have the ruby, you have the emerald, and you have the diamond, right? I don't think there is the sapphire. I don't think you can use the sapphire, right, in this. I don't think so. Yes, you can. Yes, you can also use the sapphire, actually. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. So actually is 4. And for each of those, right, you have a table that is mapping the glyph, right? But it is actually inside the script. So for example, 503, right, which is our illness glyph, right, can go with all of them. But for example, 529, which I don't know exactly what, no, 607, for example, can go diamond, emerald, ruby, and not with the sapphire, for example, right? And 605 can go only with the sapphire, for example, right? So does the book know or no? I don't think so, because it's all in the script. The book doesn't know, huh? No, the book actually knows. The book actually knows. The book knows, huh? Well, if the book knows is slightly easier. If the book knows... Enchanting Gems of Power. Enchanting Gems of Power. Enchanting Gems of Power. Set, Emerald Ring, Crystal. We already had the same problem that we couldn't find this thing, and at the end it was probably inside armor. There it is. I found it. Okay, I found it in another file. 65 streaks. Nice. I'm playing bowling, eh? I know what I'm thinking, because actually I can, right? Actually I can derive, but then I don't know the, I don't know the equipment shit. So the problem is that our logic is hard-coded in two places. Is hard-coded in the book and is hard-coded in the script. So the book allows you to actually use a certain gem with a certain glyph, right? Otherwise, it's telling you that you cannot do anything. So this couple, right? This couple is determined here. But then in the script, right? In the script is determining the other couple, which is the crystal and the resulting modifier. One or more, right? One or more modifiers. So I mean, it's a bit weird that this is not actually written anywhere, but fine. It's written in the script, right? So the script is the only place where we have this information. The problem is that, I mean, I can ask ChatGPT to transform it into an Excel, and I think it will do it. But even if I have an Excel, okay, let's assume that I create for a second an Excel file, right? With the following information. I have the gem, right? So for example, my ruby. Then I have the glyph, which in this case is, I don't know, 37. And then I need to have 3 columns though, because I need to have the prefix, the adjective, and the suffix, right? And that is gonna tell me, oh, 37 does, I don't know, 503, right? In the suffix and 500 in the prefix, right? And these are the actual modifiers. So for example, this becomes, I don't know, greater something, right? Greater and then off something, right? I don't even know what 500 is lesser actually. Okay, so it is, for example, lesser, and 503 is obscure. Okay, it's actually an adjective, right? So then your item will become, for example, a lesser obscure shores word, right? Lesser obscure shores word. So that will be the name of the item. The problem is that when you have this, right? When you have this, going back to the glyph and to the Ruby is not very easy for me, because I don't have it anywhere. I mean, I can create a table, right? I can create a table, but then the question is, where the hell do we store this table? Do we create a data table here? But then if I create a data table, that's fixed, right? And it's never gonna change. But I mean, we could, right? We could extract from a data table. So where the key is the gem, right? I think that from a data table you can extract only for one key, right? You cannot extract 2 keys. So you will have to extract 1 key, and then for loop on all the results, and then choose the one that has your glyph, and then you will find the prefix, the adjective, and the suffix, right? And that we can do it with one function that every time, which is a bit annoying. Another way would be to store this information with the weapon directly, right? Would be to store this information on the weapon. I mean, in the future we will have to store other information with the weapon for sure. For example, we'll have to store the additional enchantments, right? So we will need anyway a table one day with all the weapon enchantments, and I don't think they can be inside item stats. I don't think they can be inside item instances. I mean, in theory it is in item instance. It is in the script, right? It is in the equip script. No? Adjective script can use flags, minimum faction, crafted. No, because the equip script we only have it under we only have it in item stats. No. Yes, we have it in item stats, but when you enchant that thing, then it becomes, yeah, because it gives you the modifiers. So actually we have it in the modifiers. But the modifiers is not enough. I mean, the yeah, we have it in the modifiers. So that's basically where we have it, right? So we have it in these 3 values, in this prefix, suffix, adjective. So we have it in these 3 things. But it is a bit hard-coded, right? So it's just because at the moment you can enchant a weapon only with those 3 things, right? Yes, but in the future, if you want to enchant it in different ways. I will have any way to create a separate table with all the enchantments, right, for the specific weapon. I mean, I will have to. There is no way. I will have to do it. And I don't know if then I want to move... I want to move those 3 into the new table as well. I think it would not be too hard to do, because anyway, it's just a value. And then I could do this in that table, right? In that table, I could have a reference table that is, I mean, it can point to a reference table that is telling what is the rule, what is basically the source item, right? What is the source item and what is the resulting, adjective, which, by the way, at that point I could basically clean the script, right? I could clean that script quite a bit. And yes, yeah. I basically the idea would be that if we move that script into a database table that is saying gem, glyph, and result, right? Gem, glyph, and result. Then we could simplify the script, first of all, and second, we could use it also for other enchantments. The only problem is... I mean, how to make this table generic enough, right? Because this table will be... I mean, do you think that the weapon can have additional... Or they are in a table? Because I could do, you know, instead of gem and glyph, I could do, you know, item 1, item 2, right? So that is generic for any possible combination. But then item 1 and item 2 will result in one of these 3 things getting set. And so, for example, if my ruby crystal is whatever it is, right? Is 673, for example, right? And this item is 37, right? At that point, I don't care anymore. I'm just searching. I'm not searching what it is. I'm just searching. But the problem is that not all the enchantments will become items. So I don't know if this is really a generic method to do it for everything, right? I don't know if it's generic enough. I don't know if it's generic enough, right? But, I mean, maybe at the moment we can solve it for this, and then we can expand it later on, right? So if I create, basically what I'm saying is that if I create a table, a new database table with 5 columns, right? Which is called like it's basically loot modifiers, but yeah, it's like loot modifiers origin, right? Loot modifier origin. So the original items that you used to generate that loot modifier. Or loot modifier sources or something like that, right? Loot modifiers sources. And then we create that table and we put in item 1, item 2, prefix, adjective, and suffix, where here you can even have 3 in case, right? You can even have 3. And then I ask ChatGPT to convert my script into an Excel table, and then we're just gonna upload it, I guess. Do we want to do this? Do we want to do this? I'm thinking if it's the right way or not. I'm thinking if it's the right way, because this one obviously we cannot change, right? So I will not touch the book. I cannot easily read the book. I mean, and even if I read it, right, I don't have the effect, because the book is just saying use this gem with this glyph. It's not telling me what is the result. While the script knows. Can we make it more generic, right? Can we make it more generic so that in the future... Is the music too high or what? I feel that the music is higher than usual, no? Or maybe I hear it too high. It seems to me that the music is higher. Let me try to... So for example, if in the future we say, oh, you can add a poison, right? You can add a poison effect to the weapon, or you can change the blade, or you can have an inscription on the weapon, right? You can have an inscription. So in that case, can I put the item 1 being the inscription? And no, because no, I don't think so. No, I don't think so, because the name of the weapon, I mean, we cannot make a name of a weapon that is like 100 characters, right? So I think the prefix, adjective and suffix will stay as they are today. So for example, you have the lesser obscure short sword, right? So there is an item, right? There is an item. There are just two things. And then maybe you have a lesser obscure sort of length, which actually has 3 modifiers, right? The item is short sword and he has 3 modifiers. Now, I don't think I want, with a new system, right? For example, if you add here a rune, right? Or whatever it is, I don't think I want to modify the name again, right? I think that's just an additional... There is just an additional effect that you can see, but it's not changing the name of the weapon. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So actually this now that I think more about it, right? Actually, this table cannot be generic, right? This table must be only for gem and glyph. Because today is the only way that we create this thing. Now, if in the future we will add more, I mean, we can have more gems and we can have more glyphs, right? We can have a very special gem that is, I don't know, an opal or whatever, another type of gem, right? Or another type of ingredient. Another type of ingredient. So basically, this is the... Well, in theory, it can be any ingredients that you mix together. But they will not generate a prefix, an adjective, and a suffix, but they will generate an additional. But we can, you know, but what we can do, we can just, for example, if we have here, you know, the poison effect, or we have here, yeah, we can just add another column, right? And for example, here we'll say 101, whatever, right? So, and so this combination of items will generate a poison effect, and whatever you have here is still fine, right? Is still fine. So yeah, probably we can do item 1, item 2. Probably we can do item 1, item 2. And so this will be what? This will be item enchantments, or I want to know the effect I can have with a carrot. I have no idea. I mean, you run faster, I guess. When you have the carrot in front of a mule, right? They kind of run faster. And we will really have to decide this, right? This is a big decision. Also because we need to understand if the big decision is working not only on weapons, but is working on all these locations, right? And if it's working on all these locations with different characteristics, like we said, because there was already a bit of that, right? So what we said that based on the item that you were enchanting, right, you had different effect. Where was that? Now I forgot. Fuck. Where was the thing that was dividing this in 3 groups? Yeah, it was the gem enchanting actually. Because the gem enchanting, you can do it on the armor and you can do it on the weapon and you can do it... Can you do it on the jewelry as well? On the bracers? No, I don't think so. I don't think you can do it yet. But for sure you can do it on the armor and you can do it on the... In fact, the effect of that, right? The effect of that is that if you have, for example, right, if I take this X, right, and I modify it, and I put an enchantment which is, and I put an enchantment that is, for example, 505 adjective, right? 505 adjective, which is burning, right? This becomes a burning axe. If I read the description of burning axe, right, it's saying, yes, you can do the jewelry as well, right? You can do blunt damage as armor increase this, as jewelry increase this, right? So it's really, yeah. Yes, exactly. So there is already, but this is only for the gems. Now, one thing that is a bit annoying though is that if you look at your character, so imagine you look at your character, right? You cannot really easily see which items are enchanted. Well, you can see it by the name, right? Because you see like burning axe, and you know the burning is an enchantment. But if you look at the axe, right, you cannot really say today that this is actually enchanted somehow, right? No, you cannot say that. You can read it here, right? You can read these magic properties, but and by the way, yeah, because what I'm thinking, right? What I'm thinking is that I would like in this screen, right? For example, this one is burning, right? 505. Well, it cannot be just burning. It must also have a prefix, right? Like major or lesser or something. It cannot just be, because those are set together. So for example, this one is 501, right? So now this becomes a burning major X. In theory, it should be a major burning X. I don't know. A burning major a burning major or major burning? Because the adjective, huh? This is a bit weird, huh? It is a bit strange, no? Isn't the prefix coming before the adjective? I think it should. I don't know why it's coming out this way. Maybe because I put it in the wrong slot or what? Prefix 501. Adjective 505. No, it's correct. I was expecting this to not to be this way. I was expecting this not to be this way. So if I take this one and I say prefix 284 an adjective balanced, this one becomes what? The one becomes a balanced. Okay, yeah. No, it's like that. The adjective is first. Okay, fine. Okay. Yeah, the adjective is first. So, by the way, why now I have the same icon instead of having what? That's a bit strange, huh? Do we have a mistake here? You see that if I have two axes, now this defaults again to the basic. That's a bit weird. Like if I drop this, it will change the icon. No, it doesn't. I don't know, something weird happened though. Maybe because I added a second. Yes, because I added a second. No, it's correct. It's actually correct. I added a second modifier, and so the second modifier made it that way. Yeah. So, okay. So the idea would be, if we can, when you view the item, right? When you look at the item, if you can have the gem enchantment, or so if he has any gem enchantment, I mean, it will be the best would be to see it on the weapon, but at the moment it is out of question because I don't have a way to do it, right? It's too complex. I don't have a way to do it because we'll have to change for every item, so it's super GG. But it's super impossible. But let's say that in a simpler way, right? In a simpler way, what we could do, if this is my window, right? So imagine that this is my window, right? What I could do, I could say, hey, you have a gem enchantment, right? You have a gem enchantment on, and this will appear only if you have it, because if you don't have it, it will not appear, right? You have a gem enchantment, and then we will have ruby, emerald, sapphire, and diamond, which is basically this gem just with different colors, right? So we could do something like that, right? We could take this one and just color it in 3 different ways, right? But in 4 different ways, right? So maybe also make it slightly bigger or smaller, like the diamond will be smaller, whatever. And we can say, so for example, this one is sapphire, right? So we can go sapphire and then we go glyph. The problem is that the glyph, I don't have a picture. Oh yes, I do, because every glyph has a picture. Every glyph has a picture. Yes, every glyph has a picture. So in theory, I can... I mean, it will be very, very hard-coded, this thing. So this thing is very hard-coded. It's very hard-coded, right? So for example, will be, I don't know, this one, right? Now, unfortunately, there is the freaking background, but yeah, it doesn't really... Anyway, maybe like this is better. The only problem is... So imagine that when you see your weapon, you see that, right? So this is what I'm trying to create. So you see gem enchantment, and then you see this, and you see this, and maybe if you mouse over, you know, it's telling you if it's a sapphire, and this one is energy. We can put it in the... We can put it now. The good thing would be, you know, that you have also this description, right? That you have also this description, but I don't know if I can give you this description, because this well, I can, but this description... It's not that simple, because this description is not really linked, right, to the gem or to the glyph anymore. This description is just the sum of all the modifiers, right? And we don't have a connection between this and the well, if we have the table, then we have, right? If we have the table, then we have. So in theory, we can still derive it from this table. I can get the modifier description, and I can say, oh, this is this way because it's a lesser obscure, right? And then I have the description. Yeah, in theory, I could also have the description of the enchantment, yeah. In theory, I can also have the description, but I don't know if I want to have the description here. I think we look a bit messy, right? No? So imagine that you have this, right? Imagine that you have this here. I think it will be a bit messy, because if the item is bigger, you will not be able to see it. Maybe you can click on it, right? Maybe you can click somewhere and there is a pop-up or something, or yeah, maybe you mouse over and it shows here the... Yeah, maybe a tooltip or something. Maybe a tooltip, right? That, but, you know... Yeah, maybe a tooltip. Yeah, maybe a tooltip. Maybe because you know, in the future, right? In the future, you will have multiple enchantments, right? You will have that enchantment, and plus you will have, like we said, I don't know, the rune, right? There will be a rune, you know. There will be a rune enchantment, right? And maybe the rune enchantment will be whatever, right? I don't know. Be a rune enchantment, right? And And this one also will provide some statistics, right? And then you will have the blade or whatever, right? So each one will have a thing. So we'll have like a blade, material, right? And maybe here it will be a specific material, right? I don't know, blue steel or something like that. So you will see the icon of the blue thingy, right? I cannot do it because it needs two colors. But anyway, you get the idea, right? Right, so this will be your blade material, right? So because you enchanted it that way, you crafted it that way, or you just increased the quality of the blade with an additional material, right? And so each one of those things, right, is gonna give you a bonus on this weapon, or on this armor, because it can also be an armor thing, right? So what I'm thinking at the moment is, can I start with this, right? Can I start and have to the left here of my weapon, right? If he has any of the modifiers. The problem is that we have to change the way we send this information, right? Because well, I mean, we can do it when we inspect. We can ask this information only when we inspect. Maybe we don't normally query that data, right? So we query that data only when we click here, which I think is reasonable. Yeah, maybe we can do that. Because at the moment, I think that when we click on inspect, we don't really do anything server side. No, I don't think so. I think when we click on inspect at the moment, I think it's item detail. Item detail. So when I click on this, right? Yeah, I'm just passing the mesh and the texture, and I'm not really doing anything more, right? So let's say that in addition to this, we could also ask the server for the magical properties, right? Or we can pass it in together with the item, but I don't know if I want to do that, because because at the moment the win item details is holding what? When we receive a new item. When we receive a new item, I think that this one is not even considered. Win item detail, set item, yeah, exactly. This was exactly what I was searching for. Probably is a function. No. Set item. Why it was not visible there? I don't know. Set item content. Yeah, set item content is getting this, right? So in theory I should add on top of this, right? Also my gem and my thing, but I don't know if I really want to do it this way. There is a bit hard coded at the moment. I mean, it's not extendable. Receive item detail, right? It's not really extendable in any way. Yeah, it's very. I mean, basically there is the whole list of things. I mean, we can add 2 more parameters, right? The problem is that the parameters become like 100 and we are sending the whole inventory. No, actually we are not doing it when we send the inventory. We do it only when we ask the item properties, right? So in reality we can change this function to get 2 more parameters, which is the gem and the glyph, and then we just visualize it. That is kind of easy, actually. The problem is that if I do it on a piece of armor, right? What happens? It's the same. The only problem is that we do not have, you know, different armor meshes for every possible item in the game. We just have this generic one, right? So you will see this with the gems on the side. I'm thinking, guys, if I want to do it or not. I'm thinking. I mean, I don't think it's bad per se, but I think it's a bit of a half-baked thing, right? So it's not complete because in theory we need it for every possible enchantment, right? And at the moment, if I just add here if I just add to this function, right, 2 parameters, right, and those 2 parameters are my gem and my glyph, I mean, this will make it super hard-coded, right? Super hard-coded. Well, in theory, I should have an array, right, of all the enchantments, right, made pretty much this way, right? So I should have an array that is telling me item 1, item 2, description. Item 1, item 2, description. Where, or even better, icon 1, icon 2, because I think I can just visualize the icon and then visualize the this thing is a bit of a mess though. You know, because you know why it's a mess? Because it's not parametric in any way, right? So this is kind of is a bit hard-coded, right? Because if it's only for the glyphs and the gems that the logic works this way, right? If we have the poison, I don't think it will work the same way. I don't think there will be a lesser or greater or whatever. So in theory, the logic should be all server side. And so I need to have like what? I need to have a category. So client side, I will have a category, which is, for example, is gem enchantments, right? So there is the category gem enchantments, right? And then I say item 1, item 2. I think this will stay, right? But this will stay, but this will be an icon pointer directly, right? So it will be an icon 1 2 3, icon 4 4 4, right? So we will be able to show this and this. But then I need a description. I need a description 1, I need a description 2, because I want to mouse over somehow on those, right? So this will be, for example, the major that is giving you 2.5 enhancement, right? So let's say this will be like increases 2.5 whatever magic property. I mean, as we read it here, right? As we read it here, multiplies by 2 the specific enchantment, right? Multiplies by 2 the specific enchantment. So you will have that here, and here you will have this increase blunt damage, right? So if we manage to send this to the client, and then we will have, for example, our rune enchantment, right? And our rune enchantment, will be again an icon, and maybe in this case it's only one, right? So it is not two items, it's only a single item. And then in description 1, I would say, I don't know, adds burning damage, right? And so when you pass your mouse over that, you will see the description. And then we will have our poison enchantment, our blade material. And this one also will be an icon, you know, 666. It will tell you something else, right? And so on, right? So if we have, I think that here we can make it, you know, generic enough. So basically this means that what I have to do, I have to add an array, right, to this function, right? I need to add an array of a struct that has this 1 2 3 4 5 fields, right? So this will be a new struct that we define, and is actually usable by in blueprints, and is called like item enchantments, right? Item enchants or something like that. Item enchant or item magic or whatever, or item boost or item enchantment. I think item enchantment is okay. Or item character or item upgrades. Item upgrades. I think upgrades may make more sense, because it's not always, for example, the blade material is not really an enchantment, it's just you know, but maybe enchantment is easier for me to remember. So what we are saying is that somewhere in what? In PS item? Or in... where is it? I don't even know if we are importing PS item here. Probably not. I don't think we are. think it would be a bit of a mess to add a new include here, but it's fine. Well, but it's the same like FPS trait, right? So FPS trait, I have it inside trait, right? So do I import it here? No. Why do I see? Because it's under messages probably. No, it's not under messages. It's under PS trait. Yeah, but basically I will need something like this, right? I will need this, and I think I can put it easily inside PS item. Inside PS item is already a giant class, but anyway, it's already a giant freaking class. Why we have all these functions that are not implemented, by the way? We have all these functions that are not implemented. How it is possible? Probably because we moved them to the... I think these functions were originally here millions years ago, and they were moved to the manager class. I think so. But it's very strange. Also, this one like can add to container, remove from container. Why is saying that all these ones are not implemented? That's very strange. We don't have all this fun. No, I think the editor is messing up. It's impossible. No, I think the editor is messing up. There is something not working. Yeah, for example, can add is here, right? So why is saying that it's not implemented? Huh? I think it's going crazy. I think the editor is going crazy a second because it is obviously implemented. I don't know why it's saying it's not implemented. Is he add amount PSI slot reason? Add amount items slot reason. Yeah, it's exactly that function. I don't know why. I don't know why our rider is confused about this class. Maybe there is something at the beginning that he doesn't like. I don't know. Is there anything blueprint inside? It seems not. I mean, we can also put it in messages. The problem of messages is that I'm spamming it, you know. We have a class that is called messages, where we have a number of blueprint structure and classes that we use to, you know, I mean, we use to send server to client, and yeah. I don't know if there is something. Yeah, for example, you see, there is a F item description, for example. Or F a keep item. So yeah, all the item descriptions are here. So actually, I think we can place it here. So this will be one item enchantment, and then we have an array of this struct right? In our, I don't know if we need an ID actually, because the ID, do we need an ID? I don't think so. I mean, definitely we need a category, right? Because we want to split, we want to type, we want to present that into the UI. And then we need an item icon 1, right? We need a item icon image 1. And then we need an item icon image 2. And then we need a description 1 description. Now, it's a bit of a pity to send a description all the time, but I don't know if I want to cache it. I mean, this is when you click on it, right? So in theory, it's not that you are clicking on it a million times. So we can say item 1 description and item 2 description, right? So because that is what it is. So is the description related to that item? So we can do it like this, I guess. And so this F enchant item, okay. Which is different from where we store it, how we store it in the database, right? Because in the database we store it by ID, but here we store it by, well, I mean, if we really want, we can also add the IDs and yeah, but I need way more because I need, no, that table needs to be separate. No, that table, no, these are two separate things. There are two separate things. One is this structure, right? Which is the structure that I use to send to the client to just visualize the information. While this one is my mapping table for the glyphs. Well, for the item, yeah, so it is the item enchantment mapping. Is the item enchantment mapping, which can still be an array or can still be a struct that starts with item 1. But I don't know if I want to have it this way. Do you think we should have it this way, or do you think we should have it this way? Because in reality for us is the other way. So you cannot split the two, right? You always have the two together. But this is valid only for gems and glyphs.
Oh, did you think I meant you?
But if we think to the rune enchantment, maybe the rune enchantment can be just one line. I mean, what I can do, you know, I can create the system server to client so that we can release the client, and then I can sort out this part, which is all server side, at any time, right? Because this actually can be done only server side, and the client doesn't care, right? The client doesn't care. The only thing that we care is this structure, because this structure is needed to send the data to the client. And yeah, I don't think we need the ID. These are all strings, so in reality this is not even needed, right? That is not even needed. That is like empty. It's not even needed. I don't know if he requires one or if he adds one by default, but yeah. But anyway, that's not even needed. We may have one this way just for ease of construction, right? So we can have our in category, in item image 1, in item image 2, and so on. In item description 1. And in item description 2. Item 2 description, I mean, whatever. Yeah. And then, yeah. So I think if we have this structure available, and we can show the icon, right, properly for at the moment only for the glyph. I think at least we have the client compatible, and then we can do the changes server side later on, right? Which is I think good. So we don't have to do it now. I have the feeling that I'm gonna change this very soon because I mean, as if we add more enchantments, right, which I think I want to do, this system will have to be expanded significantly, right? So there is kind of a initial setup, right? Very initial setup. Of our system. And so basically what I want to have, right, when I'm sending what I was searching, there was the receive item detail, right? So in receive item detail, I will add here, you know, a T array of this new, of this new structure, F item enchantment, right? And I think it didn't compile it yet, and so it's a bit confused, but I declared it here as okay, fine. I forward declare it. It is where it is. I forward declare it. Okay, fine. So basically now, but in the other hand, you already have so many things who need to be upgraded, and perhaps you can wait for it. What do you have? What I have? So many things to upgrade. What I have? No, I think that. No, I think the system is important. I think this system, I like this system idea, right? This weapon enchantment idea. I think that is important because it's part of the economy discussion, right? It's part of the economy discussion. So if we want a better economy, we need to have more money sinks, and more money sinks means more weapon customization, armor customization, stuff that you can do and you can spend money on, right? I think that's needed. I think that's an equipment is the easiest one, right? For for an MMO, for an RPG, right? Because anyway, people like equipment in general, right? So you boost your equipment. I think it's kind of a good idea. So I think it's a relatively important one. Now you may say do it later. I don't know. Okay, so now we could even cheat at the moment, right? We could cheat and say because this is all server side, right? This is all server side. So we could cheat like a boss and just temporarily, right? So there is a delete me, right? Delete me. Send fake data, right? Send fake data. So we want to create this new F item enchantment, right? Where the category will be gem enchantment and the icon image will be, yeah, now the problem is that I need to send, yeah, the only problem is that the icon images I need to have, right? Because I cannot fake that. So the icon images needs to be on the client. So it must be something inside item icons. And at the moment, I think I don't have, I mean, the glyphs I should have already. I think the glyphs, all the glyphs I have here. Yeah, you see, for example, I have arrow glyph, crystal glyph, right? Energy glyph. So for example, let's take energy glyph, right? Energy glyph is 307. And obviously we will make this parametric, right? But so this will be 307, right? Which is energy. And then we will have, yeah, the problem is that I don't have at the moment the gems, right? If I search Ruby, I don't think I have a Ruby. I don't think I have a gem. I don't think I have a gem icon. Do we have a gem icon? Do we have a gem icon? I don't think so. Well, maybe we have it in the form of, yeah, like these gems, but, well, maybe we actually have. Well, we have these ones, actually. We have this one. Do we want to use these ones? I mean, we can use this one. I don't love them, but I think they are good enough. I mean, we have ruby, emerald, sapphire, and then diamond can be this one maybe. Even if I wanted diamond to be smaller. Yeah, which by the way are exactly these ones. You see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think these are the ones that are already used for the sockets. No? I think these are the ones that are used for the socketed gems already. When you are gem enchanting, I think you get those icons. Yeah. So we should use exactly those icons. Yes, I think so. I think so. I think these are the three qualities of socket. I think these are the 3 quality of sockets and the 4 different gems. Now, can I do the quality of socket? Well, I can do it with lesser major weight, so, but wait a second, now I'm getting confused. Can I say lesser? No, because these one are even different, because there is a perfect socket, a superior socket, there is even an additional thing, but that unfortunately I don't have. Ay, 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 ay. So people will tell me, the icon is wrong because it's not the superior that I did. Really? The superior? There is, right? There is the superior, the normal, the thing, right? I'm searching in the other files, but I don't see it. The city defense system and the tribe system, yeah. True. Very true. So, standard gem socket, superior gem socket, superior gem socket. Standard gem socket. Standard gem socket, standard gem socket, superior gem socket. One second, because I'm getting confused here. So the sockets. Standard gem socket. Molten steel shape. Okay, but if I go superior gem socket or perfect gem socket, 3 molten steel starting with 100, yeah. Guys, I don't remember these freaking sockets, what difference they make. There can be 3 types of increasing quality and complexity to make standard, superior, and perfect. But if you get, I mean, is the perfect required for a diamond, or can you have a perfect that you use for a ruby? Because the difference is the amount and the complexity in the making, right? So you need a higher blacksmith skill to actually have the perfect one, for example, right? But then my question is, when I have my perfect shitterinos, when I have my perfect thing, when I have my perfect thing, standard gem socket, you put it in the kit. chainmail leather. Hey, Uajet. Hey, thank you for the sub. Hello, hello. Hey. Which are people more eager to see, a new village or return of the bears? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think both, and both are coming. But yes, I'm trying to prepare the client to be able to manage something that I want to do in the future, but I'm struggling a bit to understand exactly how to do it. But I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. The only thing, do you remember, Uajet, what is the difference between a superior gem socket and a standard gem socket, apart from the fact that it requires more blacksmith skill and more material to make? But what is the benefit, right, of having a superior gem socket? Is the superior gem socket the only one that you use, for example, with diamonds, right? So that you need to have this is not clear. It's not clear why I need to do a superior socket. Why? I create a perfect enchanted chainmail helm kit. A perfect enchanted no, it's not here. A perfect enchanted why I never have the books that I need? Fuck. Enchanting armor. Why don't I have enchanting armor here, huh? Probably I have it already because I know I see. Enchanting armor. I mean, it just makes a different quality. Ah, here it is. So here it is. So superior you can do emerald and sapphire, and perfect you can do diamond. And okay, yeah. This is what I was thinking. Okay. So you use them based on the. Okay. Yes. So ruby, so basically, okay, standard, superior, and perfect. Let me just change this, edit this. Standard, superior, and perfect. This will determine the gems you can use with that socket. Standard points to ruby. And superior points to emerald and sapphire, and perfect points to diamond. Okay, now it's more clear. Okay. Yeah, now it's more clear. So in terms of icon, then this icon is always the same, right? So if it's a diamond, it must be this way. If it's a sapphire or emerald, it must be this way, and if it's a ruby, it must be this way. Now this pictures basically depicted them all, but it's not like this, right? You cannot use them all 12, right? You only used 4 of them. Okay. Okay, I see. I think we can use these icons for now. I don't think we have to go super crazy in creating new icons. I mean, they are not the best, but I think they are okay. So icon accessories, right? So if I go here and I filter by, so basically I'm trying to jam something into the client before release, right? This is what I'm trying to jam something in that I can use later on, but I don't know if I will be able to, but let's see. So our X, no, our Y, I need to know the Y. The Y should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The Y should be 4, 5, or 6. The Y should be 4, 5, or 6. And the, yeah. And the X is 0, 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, fuck. We're missing 4. Oh, no, I see. 1, 2, 3. They are not ordered for whatever reason. But so basically 1 is perfect diamond, right? Is perfect diamond socket. 2 is perfect emerald socket. Perfect emerald socket. Then there is ruby and then sapphire, right? Perfect ruby socket. And then sapphire, but they put it here for whatever reason. Sapphire socket. Okay. Okay, and then we have the same with the next line, right? The next line, which is 5. I have this, but it's not perfect. Is superior. 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 And then this one. Superior. Okay. And then I have the same with standard. At line number 6. Standard. The only point is that you cannot have a diamond on a standard, so it's a bit of a stupid icon that will never be used. But it's fine. We have the icon at least, but it's not possible, right? It's not possible to use. So actually, the one that we use, as we said, is that we use the perfect diamond socket, right? So maybe I can put an X, something like that. So the ones that we are actually using, the perfect diamond socket, we use, yes. Then we use the superior emerald and superior sapphire, right? And then we use the standard ruby. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 icons. Okay. So these 1, 2, 3, 4 icons are. Can I? So 408, 4 gems, 3 metal, 12 icons. 3 metals? There is also metals in between? No, please. There is another layer, there is the metal that you use. No, there is not. There is not. I don't think there is. There is? I mean, if there is, it's a freaking mess. Oh, Jesus. There is the metal. Ah, yes, I see it. Silver, gold, platinum, silver, gold, and platinum. No, okay, but it's actually amazing how complex Planeshift is. We're finding Apple for Anquist. Just go outside of the city on the right. How hard it is. Just go outside of the city. It's there. I mean, how hard it is. Silver, but yes, there are three. So when you go outside of the city, Dotted Fish, right? You are here, right? You are here where there is the library. You go outside from this door, right? And there is a farm on the right. Here you have the apples. Here. On the farm, there are 2 trees, and there are apples on it. I think there are other apples also inside the city somewhere, but I don't remember where. Or here maybe. Yeah, here. Next to the temple, here there are 2 other apple trees. And then I think there is another location probably, but yeah, here you have other apple trees. So just look at the. No, but the problem is if there is also the metal, right? How you can make a superior enchanted mail? You make it of gold all the time, or you make it of? Is what I don't understand. So the superior is always gold, or what? Because now I mean the fact there is another layer is making me even more confused. So there is another layer to create the socket actually. Gold gem socket. Yeah, but when you are creating your freaking the sockets are all steel. Yeah, exactly. Then what is the silver used for? So the silver jewelry, right? Silver jewelry ingot. Silver, because you make the rings or the bracers or the necklace. Okay, but that's in the. Okay. We are not making jewelry at the moment. We are making sockets. Okay, so the metal is not. Okay, the metal is not involved here. So, it's good as I said, right? It's good as I said. As good as I said. So as good as I said. So we have these ones, right? Now I don't want to hard code it, but at the moment we're just creating dummy data, right? To prepare the client. So we say, for example, oh, this item has gem enchantment 307, which is an energy glyph, and as so actually before that, he has a perfect diamond socket, right? So for example, 408, okay? 408. So it will be 408, 307. And then what do we need? And then we need a description. Okay, for now we will fake it as well, right? The description is multiplies the effect by 2.5 And the other one is whatever, I don't care, is adds burning damage for have 20, adds 20 burning damage. Okay, it's just an example. It's just an example. I mean, this is not the real thing, right? But it's just an example. So now so now can I do it like this? Yeah. So now I can create an array, right, of this shit, of this new thing that we created, right? And it will be called enchants or something like that, right? And the first thing that we will do, we will add our enchantment one, okay? So this is obviously fake data, right? Delete me is fake data, but it's just to prepare the client to receive this fake data, right? So that we can release it this way, and then we can work on the server side only, right? This is my idea. Now we will have to comment these 3 lines, otherwise we will always show that the data, right? Okay, so so let me do this. Let me recompile, right? Recompile. And then at the moment it's fairly simple because I just need to go on the client and I have to read this, create a very, very simple UI, which is just reading the icon, right? And if we want to change the icon in the future, we can. I'm only talking about the metal used to make necklaces. Okay. Yeah, because we are working on sockets only now. Maybe you should be able to ask to an NPC where are the apples. Kind of makes sense. In theory makes sense. I will try. Imagine when you have to do a quest that brings you to like 3 of the 4 cities, right? If you cannot find an apple. Come on, you can do better than this. Come on. I believe in you. You can. An apple tree. Yeah, exactly. There is an apple tree and you get the apples from there. It's not anymore like in Legacy where the apples were basically created on the ground. Or no? Well, yeah, they were falling on the ground somehow. Okay, we recompile this thing, huh? Why? Error. Declaration is different. What do you mean declaration is different? This is the declaration. Huh? Are you crazy? Ah, because sorry. Okay. Yeah, because we are called is a blueprint implementable, and so it must be passed like this. Must be passed like that. Para-bam. Para-para-pam. Para-pam. Para-para-para-pam. Param. Para-pam. Pam. 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 Para-pam. 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 Pam. Param. Okay, we compiled. Okay, so now we have to go to the in the editor, right? Client side. So we will receive that message, right? We receive that message, and we will have to pass it somehow, right, to our detail window, and then the detail window we'll have to pass it to the inspect window, and if there and then there we need a UI, even a very simple UI, but we need a UI just with the icons and I don't know if we have a way to have an icon without a background and a slot, but I think we do, if I remember right. So basically now this function, which is the receive item detail, right? We'll have an additional parameter, you see, this one, which is called enchantments, right? And now we need to change this function to add our enchantments. And this will be a struct of item enchantment. An array. Yup. Okay. So now we connect this to this. And this means that now we have our enchantments on the client. Okay. We have it on the client. Now, the set item content. Yeah, so we need to change also this function the same way. And so we need to add a new parameter here, which is our enchantments. I really hope this system in the future will become, you know, a very big system, a very big and important system for our game. Because pretty much this is what I want. And that's it. We connect this to this. Okay, so now we have the enchantments inside our item window. Okay, we have it inside our item window. Now the question is, what do we do with them, right? So, well, first of all, we save it in a variable like we do here, right? We have to save it somehow, because this will be part of our yeah, we can call it enchantment, exactly. We can just set it here. Okay, so now this window has the list of all the enchantments for our item, right? Which is cool. But then when we click on this, right, when we click on this inspect button, at the moment we are sending only the mesh and the texture, but no, we want now also our enchantments, right? So we want our enchantment, which is an array. Yeah, exactly. And now And now. Let me just save everything and check out everything. Okay, fine. Resave it? No. Okay, now. Okay, so now when we start inspecting, right? What do we do when we start inspecting? We spawn the item. We enter in this easy inspecting mode, fine. We change the skylight, we hide all the open windows, we disable streaming. We change the camera, right? But in addition, we want to have a new UI displayed, which will be displayed only for this. But I don't know if we have. Do we have a stop inspecting or no? Do we have a stop inspecting? Seems that we only have a start inspecting. Why? No, there is also a stop inspecting. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we have both, so we can do all the thing. Okay, we can do, yeah, fantastic. Good job to myself to do it this way in the same place, so I didn't have to go crazy. Okay, so we need a new window, right? For now, it will be very simple. Will be a full screen window that we call, because we don't have an inspect window, right? No, we don't have an inspect window. Well, we will create it now, I guess. So this must be a full screen window. So it cannot be a canvas, must be an overlay, full screen, right? So similar to whatever. Why this one is not an overlay, by the way? Ah, it is an overlay. Okay. Yeah, just exactly. Okay, we can create a completely new window. I think it's, can I copy it from somewhere? No. I don't think so. So this will be user widget, yes, and it will be win inspect. Or inspect item. Let's say inspect item, okay? Inspect item. Inspect item. So this win inspect item would be super simple for now. And we'll have an overlay, right? That is taking the wall space, everything. And then we will have a text. Actually, we will have a bunch of text because we will have a number of text here on the left, right? For every enchantment. For now, we only have one, so let's not overdo it, right? But obviously, we want if we have multiple enchantments, right, of different category, of different Interesting. Yeah, of different category, because I think it should be based on the category, right? Yeah, probably. So this should be text enchant category 1, right? And then after this, I need. I don't know if I can have an image and I can populate the image with the atlas directly or not. I don't remember. I don't remember if we have a way to put an icon from the atlas. Or if I have to use a WD slot. Let me do it this way. If I search icon, for example, item icon, right? Item icon, yeah, in city resources we did it. In city resources we did it, I think. So it should be done the same way, actually. Yeah, exactly. In city resources we did. I remember that we did it recently. So I need exactly this. I need exactly this, and I need it after, well, not really. And I need it, we can do it a bit rough at the moment, right? So I can create, or we create a small grid. The problem of the grid, or we create a small grid on the left. Nah, but at the moment, guys, let's do it super simple. It's fine. I don't want to go crazy now, okay? We will go crazy later in a second iteration. But for now, we will stay very, very simple, okay? We will stay very simple. And we will stay very, very simple. Okay. Okay. We will stay very simple like this. Image city item 1, image city item 2. Okay, so for now I don't want to do anything else. It's as simple as this. Now this one will have to be, we need to have a kind of a setup function or whatever. So it will be setup inspect item, right? Setup, oops, inspect item. Is there a way to select text from the chat window output and yeah, that's a very good question, Dotted Fish. Unfortunately, there is not. You can take it from the log, but I think I should really do it. I think it's something that I should really do. It's something that you like right click and you can copy or something like that. I don't know, something. Because I think it's very needed. I think this thing is very needed. I don't know why I didn't do it before, but it's really needed to be able to copy from the chat. Absolutely. How can we do it? I mean, just from the UI perspective, like a right click, like a right click, and is copying, or a button, or what? Think about it. Let me know. Let me know what is the best way, and I can do it. So setup inspect item will require what? Our enchantments, right? Enchantments, okay. As an array, yeah. Okay. So what we want to do, we want to create a new widget, I think we will create and destroy. I don't care. I mean, I don't care. Just a super simple widget. Maybe in the future we will win, inspect. Maybe in the future we will save it and do the check and blah blah blah. What do we want to do it now? I mean, it's very simple. Huh? We just take the player controller. We add a new win. Okay, let's do it. Will be the 100 window that we have, but fine. So, wow, the compile, okay. We do the usual thing, right? So if it's valid, we use it. If it's not valid, we create it, right? So if it's not valid, we create it, and then we set the win inspect to be set win inspect item to this thing, right? So that, okay. And what? Okay. Then we make it so here we add to parent, right? We add to viewport, sorry, we add to viewport, right? And if it's already present, we assume that it's collapsed, right? Or is removed from parent. Do we usually collapse it, or we so we set the visibility to collapse, right? And so we will set the visibility to visible. Okay. So we never remove it from the parent, so you have this window floating forever. Yeah, okay, fine. That's okay. And then, right? So or we create it and show it, or we just show it. And then after this, we do the setup, right? We do the setup, right? We do the setup. Okay. And the enchantments, we have it because we saved it, right? Oh, fuck. No, we don't. We didn't save it? No, we've passed it to this. Yeah, we passed it to this. It's a bit far away, but we can reach it. It's kind of far away, but it's fine. We can do this. Yeah, it's kind of far. It's kind of far, but who cares? And we pass the enchantment to this, right? Okay, so now every time we start inspecting, right, the window will pop up. And the only thing that we have to do that when we stop inspecting, maybe just before this, right, we take our player controller and we take our win inspect item. And we do a set visibility, and we do a set visibility off, right? I mean, collapsed, whatever, collapsed. Or hidden, I don't know, collapsed. Okay, that is good. So we can remove it, we can remove the window will appear and disappear. Even a dump of the current shot window to the clipboard might work, but it's a lot of spam. The way I remember it from other MMO presenter, Have the chat input active when you can mark the wanted text with the mouse and press Ctrl C to copy the selected text. Yeah, but this means making the window an edit box, right? At the moment it's not an edit box, at the moment it's a text box. I'm more in favor of just copying everything. I'm more in favor of just giving a way to copy everything and then you put it in a notepad and you choose what you want. I think it's the simplest way. I just don't know if I want to do it with a right click or I want to do it, but I think that would be the easiest, really. Okay, so when we set up the inspect item, right? So the first thing that we do, we check if this has any items, right? So we check the length of this and we see if the length is greater than 0, right? So if we have any items to display, right? If we have any items to display, are there any enchantments, right? So if there are no enchantments, what do? We just hide the window or we really hide all the elements? That's a kind of a good question, actually. Because if we just hide it, right, and then we show it again, it will not really work. You will see it like flashing or something. Maybe we just hide all the items. So if there are no, we hide everything, right? At the moment it's just 3 elements, right? It's just 3 stupid elements. So is this 3 guys? So we will just hide everything, right? So we do set visibility collapsed to all 3 and that's it, right? And in the future we will make this obviously more parametric, smarter, you know, but at the moment I'm trying to create the bare minimum that allows me to display properly the gems, right? This is what I'm trying to do. So this is basically hide everything, right? And nothing else. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, we show, at the moment we show only the first, right? So we say show first enchantment, right? We will have to do it differently because this will have to be parametric with multiple values, but for now I'm doing it very simple and I think it's the best way for now. So okay, so we show everything and then I would say that we take the first element only, right? Because we know at the moment we only have 1 element, so who cares? I mean, we pass it as an array for future compatibility, but in reality we know exactly that this is only one element at the moment, right? And it will be 1 element for quite some time because we don't have multiple enchantments at the moment. So the category, right, will go here, right? So set text. What? There is a txt, bro. Can I set text to it? No, it's not a txt. Why? Bro, is a text. No, I messed up. Fuck, there is the overlay. Sorry, I messed up. Easy mess up. Now, doing the server side obviously will be way more complex, but for now... Okay, so the category just goes there with no special thing, right? Then we need to load the image, right? And the way to load the image is the same that we do here. So let's see if we can find it so I don't have to think about it again. Set image off. Fantastic. We already have a function. Where is this function though? No, it's inside CD resources. Fuck. Do we just copy it? Yeah, we just copy this and GG. I would just copy it. Otherwise I go too crazy. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, just copy GG. So we get our get image icon. We do set image icon, right? Set image icon, where the icon image is this. And in theory, it should already work, assuming that yes, it works. Yes, it's correct. It's correct. We do the same with the second one, right? We do the same with the second one. So this will also be set image icon, icon name, icon 2. And then if we want, we can also have our tooltip, right? So we can set a tooltip window. Well, just for now, just a tooltip text. Then I will make it nicer, okay? But for now, let's just do it simple. And we will see later on how to do it better, okay? It's just to see if this thing kind of works or not. Okay. Okay, I think we can try this. Assuming that I saved everything, right? Yeah, I saved everything. So I think we can try. So basically what we want to see... We want to see that when I open the inspect window of my item, I get the text and the two icons with the tooltip, right? And then we need to think how obviously to make it parametric based on the real item information. But at least we have the client capable of displaying it. And you can always, yeah, in dotted fish, you can always clear the chat, right? I think there is a /clear that is just deleting it. So, I mean, if the text is too much, you just clear it. Yeah, to me it should be a dump everything, but I don't know how to do. I mean, I don't know if I want to have a button or if I want to just have a double click, a right click with a menu. I don't know. Or you just Control C on the window. I don't know. Will actually be nice to put it in this release, the copy of the chat. I think a lot of people will really like it. Okay, so if I open this thing and then I click here, nothing happened. In theory, I should have, right? There should be the thing on the left, but there is not. Which is weird. Why? Why? I didn't put any printout because I thought it was so simple that it would work, but it didn't. Okay, we can put some printout to understand, right? But in theory... Item create and inspect item actor 1. Maybe I didn't connect something. Wait. Setup inspect item. Okay, let's put a printout here and we see if we arrive here, right? We should be arriving here actually. We should be arriving here. But we will see in a second. So we will say setup inspect item and then we print out the length of our array, okay? So we know if this is actually something or not. I compiled, right? On the, yeah, I compiled on the server side for sure. Maybe I didn't connect, no, but I think I did because I had inspect, when inside the set item content, right, we are passing these enchantments, yes, and here we are passing the enchantment, we are doing this, then we are setting all of this, we are setting this. Action location, yeah, but here we go here, we go here, we go here. Wait a second, because maybe I didn't connect it, I don't know. Do we stop at any time before this? Yeah, we actually stop here. Set visibility, why we stop here? If it's an action location, okay, but yeah, if it's an action location, yeah, okay. But this is that is not our case, obviously. Then here we set up all the buttons, the visibility, the visual equipment. We change the color. Oh fuck, I didn't call it. What? I didn't call it. No, because here we set only the item content, but then after we set the item content is when I click on the eye icon, right? Is when I click on the eye icon. And when I click on the eye icon, we do start, exactly, we do start inspecting, and it's inside start inspecting that I call this, unless we exit before this, but I don't think so. Ay, wait a second, here there is a big mistake. No. Holy shit, there is a huge mistake. Oh fuck. We are doing this for every window. Holy moly, that is a big deal actually. There is a big deal. So this for loop is hiding every window, but it's also doing all of this multiple times, right? Which is absolutely not what we want. Holy moly. Okay, it's good that we found that because it was anyway a big mistake, right? So, but anyway. So yeah, we when this is completed, we disable streaming. We change the camera one time only. Yes, please. We do this inspect item. We create a window or not based on if that thing is there. We set it. We add to the viewport, and then we do this setup inspect item. Right? Let me see one sec. I mean, we have to change that 100%, but we should see the printout. We should see the printout saying. Yeah, that was bad, huh? That was bad. That was very bad. That was very bad. Setup inspect item 0. Okay, so at least we go through that. We go through that, but we are not receiving the proper data. We are not receiving the proper data from the server. Okay, we just have to be sure that we are calling. So the server is sending us 0 entries through this. This is connected. This is connected. That is the one where we save it, right? Yep. And then so, but the server is sending us, wait, receive item detail. It's very strange that this is empty though. Receive item detail, huh? So I create this fictional item, right? And then I add it to this variable, and then I pass this here, so it must be set. So the only thing that may happen then is that my set item content is executed after. Let me see. Receive item detail on client, right? Set item content. No, it's impossible because this one is executed when the window is shown, right? And then, okay, so we need another printout then because it's strange, really. It's very strange. Or I didn't recompile on the server side. Maybe I forgot to recompile. But I don't think so, because I think we did it. But anyway, enchantments, maybe I forgot to recompile. I think that's the only reason. There can be actually no other reason for this to be 0. So I think I didn't recompile. Okay, so we will do this and then we will recompile and test anyway. I will put in the printout so that we have it. But this should be obviously 1, right? I'm pretty sure we did compile though. But okay, let's do it again. I'm pretty sure we compiled with these 3 lines, right? True, found the chat log in the app data and a copy location of those duplicates. Yeah, you can also do it like this. So you can basically keep that file open in your notepad, right? And always, and it's refreshed every time something new. So it's basically like having an automatic copy paste. So I don't know, maybe it's just easier to do it that way. I think it would be kind of intuitive to copy from there. Yeah, I think it didn't compile anything, so... Am I missing something that like we are not calling this function, or... We are not calling this function. Maybe we exit before. Is there a return somewhere? I think if the item is not identified, maybe we exit. No, no. I have no idea. We will see if that printout is returning 1, right? We should see 1 element. By the way, guys, hello, whoever joined the stream now, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions or if you want just to share what you do with Unreal Engine, or if you are a developer or if you are a player, let me know. If you are new to the channel, that would be nice. We are very close to a release. I want to do it before the end of the year, so basically today or tomorrow. And yeah, today or tomorrow. I mean, it's not a big release because we spent only I think a month on it, but okay, let me see what we get. Enchantment 0. What the fuck? Why? Huh? We get enchantment 0. That's ridiculous. We get enchantment 0, boys. This means that my ad is not doing anything. I don't understand. What is what? What I'm doing wrong, huh? So I create a new enchantment, right, with this line. Then I create an empty array. Then I add to that array my enchantment 1, right? And then I'm passing these enchants, right, to the function, right? And this function is the one that we receive on the client, right? The one that we receive on the client. Yes, with my array, right? So, or this thing is not recognized for whatever reason, but I don't think what I'm doing wrong. There must be something big that I'm missing. It's not this function. I think it's this function for sure. Huh? Am I calling it in the wrong place on the client? Could be. I don't know. We will debug it a second just to see. But I mean, I'm creating it here, right? So what? Huh? Maybe we're not going through this function. We are going through another function. No, because the receive item detail is only called here. There is no other, right? There is no other call of this function in the whole project. So it's only here. It's only here. So it must be here. Huh? It's something I don't understand, boys. Maybe on the client we did it stupid, like we call it server side instead of client side. No, because we see the printout, right? So it's correct. Ah, shit. This one was set as a client debug. This one was set as a client debug because I did a test before. Wait. Wait. Properties, local debugger, server. Okay, no. I mean, it didn't recompile it because it was set as server. No, impossible. Absolutely impossible. By the way, I'm still waiting the Steam review. I don't know why it's taking so much time. Probably because there was Christmas in between. Come on, it's such a simple code. Please. Please! Okay, anyway, assuming that this works one day, right? Then we have to do this piece, right? So this piece obviously should not be like this, but should be really based on the enchantments of the weapon. So what I need to do, I need to create, I think, a new database table somehow that is linking the crystal to the glyph and then to the prefix, suffix, adjective. And then based on that, we can also simplify the script, right? So that's the idea, I think. I mean, it's not working because it's not a pointer. No, this must work. There is no way. Okay, when it does this, it's because there is a breakpoint that is not set properly. Like this one, for example. How do I delete it like this? There must be a breakpoint in a stupid place that is messing up. Usually it's in the H files. Yeah, it was that H file, I think. Yeah. Okay, it's running now, I guess. Unfortunately, I have all the maps because I was about to release, and so it takes a bit more to load in everything. Yeah. But I cannot delete the maps because I did relight, right? And so... For a game portal, the end of the year is a odd time. For a game portal? What? Okay, so as soon as I click here, right? Yes, we hit our debug, right? And our enchant has one element, right? Which is this one, right? And in this element, we pass it. But... for some reason on the client, we get 0 enchantment. What the fuck is going on? What? This absolutely makes no sense. Am I setting the enchantments on the server instead of on the client? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I connected in the wrong place. Wait a second. But I don't think so. But... yeah, anyway, our variable has one element, right? Which is our struct, which is a blueprint struct. So it should be perfectly compatible, right, with RPC, with this function here that we are calling. So I don't understand why. I mean, or is the wrong function name, right? But receive item details, right? On PS controller. I think there is only one. I mean, we can search it again, but... and also we get the printout, so we are passing through that. I don't get what is going on. Maybe I did it server side. Hey, bro, receive item detail is this, huh? Receive item detail is this. It is connected. I mean, it's connected. Enchantment. I mean, what is the problem? I don't understand what is going on. Oh my god. That is connected, yes. Set item content. Set item content. I have this, right? Enchantment, which I'm reading the length of this variable that I'm setting, right? This one. And the result is 0. How can it be 0 if I'm passing a value? Jeez, I'm going crazy here. Win item detail. Maybe win item detail is not valid yet. Maybe win item detail is not valid yet when we do this. But no, but if that was true, none of this data would be available, right? So obviously it is, because we are printing the wall text, showing the icon, you know. Is this connected to the right place? Yeah, I mean it must be, otherwise it would give an error. That is ridiculous, boys. I don't understand what is going on. I mean, it's really weird. It's really is beyond weird. I don't understand what is going on, guys. I mean, I can print everywhere and see where we lose it, because at a certain point we lose it, right? Server side enchantments. I think we are about to discover something new here, because this doesn't make any sense, and so if it doesn't make any sense, it means that we are going to discover something new, or an incompatibility of the struct, of the fact that I created an empty constructor. Okay, let me check 1 second the empty constructor. Do you think it's this? That for whatever reason I have a feeling about this. I have a feeling about that. That the generated that I'm overriding. I have a feeling about that. I have a feeling about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to do, but now we have printouts everywhere, but in addition, I'm removing the empty constructor. That I have the feeling it may be the problem. Freaking empty constructor. I mean, at the moment I have no other ideas. So, or is that, or I don't know what is going on. But we had an empty constructor here as well, right? The difference is that here we were setting like a default and there we were not. Let's see. For a game ported, the end of the year is a hot time. Ah, you mean for Steam, I guess. So if we manage to release it on Steam, I don't know. I'm waiting the approval, but it's not coming, so I don't know. We submitted our application on the 22 of December, which I understand is a bit close to Christmas. So now we are the 30, well, the 29 technically, and he's saying that normally the review takes from 3 to 5 days, right? So I don't know. No appropriate default construction. No, he wants it. He wants the default constructor, actually. He wants it. He wants the constructor. He wants it. He wants the constructor. So... So it's not the constructor then. Did I forget to set... Wait. Oh, fuck. I forgot to set the... Ah, no. No, wait. No, it's correct. No, it's correct. Because there is the item, it's not the array, right? So, but even if it will be just an empty item, so the length will be 1, right? The length will be 1. Ah, jeez, why we need to be stuck on such a stupid thing, like half an hour for nothing? What is this thing doing? I mean, why? I mean, it's identical to the other ones that we have, right? I did a copy actually, so... I mean, is the syntax that I'm using to add it actually incorrect? Right, so that this is not, but I mean, it's just a normal constructor, so it's just a normal constructor. And anyway, even if this would not work, right? This would be an empty item, but we still be an item. So the quantity will be 1. I don't know, I'm super confused, boys. I'm like beyond confused. So somewhere, but now we have all the printouts, so we will see where we lose it. But there is a moment where we send it, probably is when we send it to the client, I guess. That we lose it, right? We lose the content. Why we lose the content? Do we have another Blueprint implementable event with an array? Yeah, we have like 1 million. We have 1 million. So if I search another const array, okay? Well, look, we have it here. We have it here, right? So it's const array, f item description, and content. So it's exactly the same as this. is exactly the same as this. So I don't know if this, if for whatever reason Unreal Engine messed up when we did it, because remember it was a mistake that I didn't put the const end, and it maybe created two constructors. One is empty and doesn't have this parameter for whatever reason, and now is messing up. I don't know. I'm not really finding. So maybe now if I go to this, right? Let me open this a second. Let me search for that function and see if there is no function. Huh? What? What do you mean? There is no receive item detail in this file. Yes, because probably it's only generating the ones that are blueprint callable, not the ones that are blueprint implementable events. Like, for example, this one will probably not be there as well, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why. That's why. No, but it's so that's fine actually. So client side. Okay, so I see what is happening. So you see this enchantment 0. This window is open before we receive the data. In fact, if I open it twice, now we have it. No, we don't. How it is possible that enchantments arrives before this function? Is 1 millisecond of difference. Is 1 millisecond of difference, but is before. Huh? Yeah, so I have two functions. I have two functions the wrong. I have two functions with the wrong synchronization, right? So for whatever reason, but I don't understand. What? Yeah, I messed up. I have the initialization that is happening after. Really? Okay. Am I that stupid? Okay, fine. I mean, you have to realize it sometimes. So basically what happens from the log, we saw it in the log, right? There was... we can check the log again. Where is our notepad? Wow, we don't have a notepad open. Insane. So... yeah, so we see these server-side enchantments, right? And it is one. And then we have the client side, and the client side, that is here, right? The client side is getting, look, enchantment 0, in win item details before we get this call, right? So it means that that window gets initialized with item detail, right? With yeah, disenchant exactly. So it means that this function is called before the data is actually sent to us. And this actually happens in two different places. Before the data is sent to us? No, client-side enchantments. Nah, that is ridiculous. I think this line, I think this connection is not working. I mean, there's no, I mean, I think this, for whatever reason, this connection is not working because, yeah, it's printing it after actually because, you know, I printed it after, right? It's just the printout. You see, this printout is after. So client-side enchantments is actually 1, but enchantments inside of this, right? Here. Ah, fuck, I did the printout before. Okay. Fine. I did the printout before the set. Jesus. But anyway, so it will probably be 1 here then, right? But then when I click, okay. So it's just the printout that is wrong. But then when I click here, setup item is 0. Okay, so the problem is not here. The problem is after this. That when I set enchantments, then I click on my eye icon. I didn't connect something, guys. I'm pretty sure I didn't connect something. There it is. Okay. There was just a missing piece. There was just a missing piece. It was all correct. It was just one missing freaking line. Jeez. I don't know if I want to keep all this mess. Probably not. It is completely useless anyway. I mean, we can leave maybe just the printout here for a second because we may use it later at a later date. So let's keep it. But yeah, so it was just yeah, it was just not connected. Arrgh. 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 Upset, but fine. Yeah, I just debugged it wrong, right? So I assumed that something was wrong on the server side and I debugged it in the wrong place. If I just search for all the connections, but anyway. Shit happens. It's fine. So now it should be okay, hopefully. And so we will see the icons and the thing. So basically now our client is capable of displaying.
Look up. It's the flying spaghetti monster.
Where is it? I don't see it. Maybe it's for the clouds. Today I don't see it. I mean, I hope it throws some spaghetti down, no? You know what I was thinking the other day? I was thinking also to make the lasagna monster. How can be the lasagna monster? The lasagna monster is basically like the spaghetti monster, but it's a specialization of it. Okay, I think if this works, right, we can consider the client closed and we can package it. Enchantments 1. Ah, finally, bro. Okay. That is the only thing I wanted to see. That is the only thing I wanted to see, right? So that you have there your gem enchantment, and also if you mouse over, you can see multiplies the effect by 2 and adds 20 burning damage, right? Now, this is obviously, at the moment, this is obviously fake, right? But our client, and so this will work for every weapon the same way at the moment, right? So also this one has the same shit, right? But the good news is that now I can send this information, right, from the server with the right values if I want, right? If I can. Now, which is this discussion we were doing before. So now we basically did this. We did this side. But I need to do this side. So I need a way to link, and I think that this needs to be a database table, right? The easiest would be that this is a new database table where I map this. Where I map this. When I map this. The only, I mean, and this I can do it also after the release, right? Because this now is fully server side. It's fully server side, yeah. The only thing is, if I want my database to be item 1, item 2, or if I want my database to be item 1, the problem is that at the moment in our logic, we have one glyph. No, we have one ruby, one glyph. So one gem, one glyph, and then a number of effects, right? So I cannot split the two in reality in the current logic. But so in theory, I need to have it like this, right? I need to have it like this. The question is, if I have it on one line, yeah, it will also be easier. At the moment, it will also be easier for my thing. Yeah, it will be easier. Yes, it will be easier. It will be. I mean, we can create it now if we want. I mean, it's late, but I mean, I don't know if I want to create. Maybe it's a bit too late. But basically, what we have to do, we have to create a new table that we can call it loot modifier source, or we can just call it item enchantments, maybe. Item enchant. Yeah, I think we will call it just item enchant. And item enchant. Well, item enchant. But what is not clear to me is what I will do in the code here, right? Instead of the fake thingy. What we will do? Instead of the fake thing, I will have to read. Instead of the fake thing, what I will have to do? I will have to start from the modifier. Because on the item, I only have the modifier. I don't have the gem anymore, right? I don't have the gem anymore. So in reality, my query is the opposite, right? My query is, I start from the modifier. Ay. This is not very simple. That is not very simple. I start from the modifier and then I need it on different lines. Well, I can also check the two modifiers together. That's a bit of a mess though. What if we do something completely the opposite? So that we extend this table. We extend the modifier table. And I say here where it's coming from. So for example, it's a bit of a mess though. So for example, 503, right? 503. That is not even here. ID 503, right? Obscure, right? I say obscure comes from glyph 37. The problem is that we will never know. Yeah, I think this is easier though. This is easier. This is easier instead of adding a new table. We just extend this table and we say what is the source of this modifier, right? That we use it only to display it on the client as a gem, right? But it is a bit annoying because because obviously here they are listed separately, right? So if I do or ID equal to 500, right? So you see that is lesser obscure, but these are two lines. So going to this discussion, these are two lines, it's not one line, right? So I could say, oh, lesser comes from Ruby and obscure comes from this glyph. And then, so yes, I could add a new column, which is the item source. That is fairly easy. But then, okay, let's assume that we do this, right? So that we add a column with the item source. Okay, so if we have that, then what I will have to do, well, in the code will be fairly easy because I will just have to search my current modifiers, then read that table, get my source item, from the source item, I get the icon image that I have, and I have my other icon image, so I can do this, right? Easy. But then, how can I know there is a gem enchantment, right? Well, at the moment we only have this, so I can just assume it. But in the future, when we have multiple, that would definitely be a problem. Well, I could do a simple check if it's a glyph, right? If it's a glyph and if it's a socket, yeah, maybe I can do that. But then what about the description? Well, the description is actually the description of the modifier. So it's also fairly easy to get, right? Because it's on the modifier. Yeah, this is a much simpler way. There is a much simpler way, my boys. Do you want to do it now? I mean, it's not that long. It's not that long because I just need to add a new column here, basically. So what I have to do this. I have to add a new column to my loot modifiers, which is actually called source item, right? And the description can be the item that generated or that the item used in crafting to get this modifier, right? Example, gem sockets, right? Yes. And this obviously becomes a new thing that I have to put in my update schema. New inspect enchantments info. So I have to do this. Okay, we can make the example maybe only with one and see what happens, right? But so, yeah, exactly. So if now I go here, right, and I say that my lesser comes from what? Lesser comes from Ruby. So 473. Yeah, but this is not the socket though. This is not the socket. This is the Ruby. Because we don't have a socket item, no? No, we have. I think we have the socket items, right? We have the socket because they're the one that you use to build. Yeah, exactly. So we have these three: standard gem, superior gem, perfect gem. So we have 485, 86, 87. So in theory, for the lesser, I need to say that it comes from this, right? And right. Please. Because in this case, so I will have to do like 485, 486, 487. Now my only problem is, do you think that they have the proper icons? Because if they don't have the proper icon, but I think they do. I think they do. I really hope they do. So the icon for this shit is what? The icon is... No, they don't have the proper icon. Why? The icon is 128. They don't have the proper icon. Because it's before the ruby. Shit. Superior Emerald Soil. Do we have anything that has the icon 434? 434. Yes, we have it. It's something completely off. I mean, we can create fictional items just for that, but platinum sapphire necklace. I mean, or we can just set it to this, but the problem is that if we set it to this, do I only care about the icon or do I care about the item? Because, you know, I can do a trick. Instead of source item, this can be source icon. This can be source icon and GG. We just put the icon directly here and I don't have to search anything. Yes. Yes. I think that do we need to know the source item for real? Or do we just want to display it somehow? I think we just want to display it. So this will be the enchantment icon or something like that, not the source item. So we don't. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think so. So this is not source item. This is enchantment icon or something like that. I mean, is the modifier icon at that point, right? Is the modifier icon. The problem is that if I have the lesser in any other enchantment, it will obviously not work. So yeah. But let's do this. Let's do this. The icon, let's say. No, please redo it. Okay. The icon to display for this modifier, example gem sockets. Yeah, it's not really a great example, but anyway. The icon to display for this modifier. I mean, it's a bit of a hack, actually. It is a bit of a hack because it works only for this gem enchantment thingy. But you know what? I don't care. So at this point, you know what I can do, right? I can just say that my perfect diamond socket is 408, right? Because I know that that's the way it works. But wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. That's not true though. Because I only have 3 modifiers. How can I have 3 modifiers and 4 gems? Huh? That is so confusing. Why we have lesser, major, and whatever is the last, and why we have only 3 modifiers and 4 gems sockets? Because emerald and sapphire go into the same. Yeah, but why? We said that superior, right, can support emerald and sapphire. Superior can support emerald and sapphire. So in reality, I don't know. No, fuck. I don't know. No. No. Nah. We are fucked. Okay, wait a second. Let me understand if you are really fucked. So basically, the problem is that, for example, modifier 503 that we said that is what is obscure, right? Modifier 503 is obscure, yes. So basically you can have, at the moment, obscure here, or you can have obscure here. The difference is that if you are using the glyph with the emerald, no, wait, I messed up. You can have it with ruby, and you can have it with sapphire. Can you also have it with emerald, by the way? 503. Oh, by the way, you can also have it with, yeah, you can have it with everything. Oh, Jesus. So if you use the, yeah, but then what is the difference then? Because with the diamond you get a major. Wait a second, huh? Because I'm already going crazy. Because with the 502 is greater. So with the diamond you get a greater obscure. With the sapphire, let me see the other. With the emerald you get a lesser obscure. With the sapphire, no, with the ruby you get nothing. We get obscure, and that's because it's without modifier. It's without modifier. It's without modifier. Okay, so this is how it works. Basically, that is by 1. This is multiplied by 1. This is multiplied by 1.5. No, sorry. That is multiplied by 1.5, right? That is multiplied by 2, and this is multiplied by 2.5, right? So that is how this shit. No, that is how this shit works. So yeah, exactly. So we also have the category of no gem. No, I mean no. Yeah, but you are still using a ruby, right? So you're using a ruby, but you get as a result no gem. I mean no gem modifier. That's kind of weird. That is kind of weird. Or you don't do it with the socket? No, I think you do it with the socket for sure. Or you do it without a socket? No, I think you do it with a socket anyway. So it's basically when you are using this, you do it with, you just put the ruby. But I was thinking that you put also the socket, no? We said in our guide, right, that the standard is used with the ruby. And the superior is used with the emerald and with the sapphire. So one is changing based on the socket, the other is changing based on the gem. Oh my god. Jeez. So I cannot really... It is so annoying. So from the modifier, I cannot know what is the source item. I cannot know. Because it's not unique. Because it's not unique, my boys. It's not unique. 503, yeah, it's not unique, so you cannot go back. I mean, oh shit, also the glyph is changing. No, it's impossible. I just saw something devastating. What? What? The glyph is changing? No. But who the fuck invented this thing? Who invented this system? It's completely crazy. Bro, it makes no sense. So, let me take another glyph. Let me take another glyph. 507. 507, okay? 507. No, I mean the modifier, right? The modifier. 507. or ID or ID equal to 507, right? So 507 is entangled, okay? So you can get this effect on a diamond with glyph number 48, which is the 3 glyph, or you can get the same effect with a glyph 46, which is a rock, on an emerald. I mean, why the hell we did this? Why the hell we did this? And you can get on a ruby the same modifier with an armor glyph. And you can get the same modifier on a sapphire with the same one, with the armor glyph. So is it because the harder it is to find the glyph, I mean because we wanted to add also a complexity in finding the glyph if you want to put it on a diamond? Yes, I think that's the reason. Yes, I think actually there is a reason, and the reason is that the more complex, right, is the process, the more complex is the glyph to find the glyph, right? So because armor, for example, is fairly basic, but I'm kind of surprised though that yeah, exactly. So ruby is 43, sapphire is also 43, but then when you have to go, but emerald in theory is less, right? Yes, emerald is less. I think it is inverted, by the way, because when you go emerald, you have 46, which is definitely a harder glyph to find, rock. I don't know, but anyway, it cannot be the same as ruby. Ruby is the simplest. And then when you go diamond, you have 3, which probably is harder, yes. I understand. I understand why we did it. Let me ask you something else that's crazy. I was asking MC about where to find an apple tree, but got nothing. Asking about Arquist, and he said next to Idle Fountain, the big apple tree. That's an old. Yeah, because there was an apple tree there. Okay, then I can fix immediately. Because that's the answer. That's a basic knowledge area of our NPC. Let me see. NPC knowledge areas. Knowledge area script. There is probably one that is called Hydla people, right? Knowledge area. Oh wow. He's searching a lot. Hydla town person, probably. Hydla town person. About, let me see, Arnquist. No, it's probably Hydla important people then. Yeah, Hydla important people. Where is Arnquist? Yes, where is Arnquist? And he's saying, he's the blacksmith. You can easily spot his building next to Idla Fountain and the big apple tree. Yeah, I can change it now. I can say next to the Idla Fountain and... no, let's say next to the Idla Fountain. Or I can say, and the road to the arena. And the road to the arena. There is also another answer that is saying, you don't know where Arquest is? Is that a joke? Okay, I saved it. It will be available at the next server restart. So not now, but the next time the server restarts, it will be fixed. Because there was an apple tree there, but I moved it. Good one. So at least we did one fix. Nice. Nice, one fix, we did it. Okay, so this thing is becoming more complex than I was thinking. So I think I will stop here because it's too late, and I think that this thing is not really going the way I want it to go. But let's say that at the moment the client is capable of showing this if we pass the right information. So the only thing I want to see is if I don't pass that information, that I'm not messing up anything, right? So that we have basically enabled the client to enable the client, right, to do this thing. Okay, so let me recompile it this way. But I just want to see that we didn't break it, right? So that we can add this functionality later on. The problem is that at the moment for gem enchantments, we don't really... But you know what we can do? No, we cannot. Fuck. It is so annoying. So basically the fact that there is no real rule telling me from Obscure how I created it, because I may have created with a ruby, I may have created with an emerald. I cannot display visually on the weapon, right? I cannot display visually on the weapon the proper gem that you used. And that really bothers me though. That really bothers me. I mean, I can put a generic gem, right? But my idea was to put the gem and the glyph. But I cannot. Maybe what I can do, I can put a generic gem. Yeah, that is probably what we can do. We can put a generic gem, and we can put the crystal way, the brown way, the red way, right? Which is actually true because this one is always the dark way, right? Yes, I think we can do that. It's a bit of a pity because I cannot show you if your weapon has a ruby, as an emerald, as a sapphire, as a diamond, because that information is completely lost after it is enchanted. So it's very annoying. So or we do it when you actually enchant it, but this means that all the existing weapons will not have that information. Or I can just put a gem of like a neutral color, like the one that you see on screen now, that you may say, oh, maybe it's a sapphire, maybe it's not, I don't know. And then I can put the way symbol. Yeah. I think we can do it this way, boys. See if we can do it this way. I found a portal, I went through it, it was a small red room, went through it and I under the map. That looks like a leftover of an event. You should ask Uajet, but I think it's probably a leftover. Ah no, is so the back portal is not working. You should message. Can you message Uajet and just tell him exactly what you just said to me, and he will understand exactly what to do, because it means that the returning portal from that cave is not correct. He's returning in an impossible place. Are you under the map? Maybe do you see things or are you just falling down? Okay, let's see that we didn't break anything, right? So if I look at the weapon now... Huh? Huh? Why this comment didn't work? What the fuck? Okay, guys, seems that also Ryder at a moment of fuck up. It seems that he didn't consider. You see that this part is not really commented out, even if it's commented out. I don't know what happened, but how it is possible that this is not commented out while it is commented out? Huh? How can this be? Okay, I think he realized now, and he fucked up. Yeah, it locked. I think he GG'd out. The editor crashed or something. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go. There is a building there as well with a custom house, and on the upper floor there is an apple. Fantastic, but maybe you cannot pick it up. Can you pick it up? I found 3 more portals and ended up back in the city. Holy shit! That was quite a travel. So you just had your first portal thing. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. So tomorrow morning I just package everything and GG. Okay, I don't want to spend more time. But anyway, we have the client kind of compatible with the new system, which is nice. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that's always a good idea. And also it is free. And if you want to try our game, you can just go to our website, click on download now, which is here on the top left, and you can play it for Windows, Linux and Mac. Remember, all our socials are here, so you can connect to us. And if you want to become a Patreon, that would be even more appreciated. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you tomorrow with a new client, hopefully with a new release, maybe. Bye.